Hi, this is Malini, and this video covers a few basic concepts in electric circuits such as difference between a circuit and a network, necessary conditions in which an electric circuit is valid, and the difference between a lumped and distributed network. First, let's discuss about the difference between a circuit and a network. What is a network? A network is a combination of elements and it may or may not have a closed path. Consider resistances R1, R2, R3 and R4 connected like this. See, this is a network. This do not have any closed path for the flow of current. Similarly, this is a circuit having closed path. This is also a network. So, we can say that a network may or may not have a closed path. Both these are called as networks. Whereas a circuit is a combination of elements that should have a closed path for the flow of electric current. Only then we can call it a circuit. While considering our previous examples, it can be seen that our example number 1 cannot be considered as a circuit since it do not have any closed path, whereas our example number 2 qualifies as a circuit. So, we can safely say that all networks are not circuits, whereas all circuits can be considered as networks. All circuits can be called as networks, whereas all networks are not circuits. Now, this circuit theory is not valid under all conditions. Any complex network can be solved easily by applying the concepts of electric circuits, but there are some necessary conditions which needs to be satisfied in order to apply the concepts of electric circuits to solve a network. Circuit theory is valid only for interconnection of lumped elements, and it cannot be applied for interconnection of distributed elements. What is a lumped element? An element is called as lumped if its physical size is very much less when compared to the wavelength of electromagnetic wave propagation. Now, what is a wavelength? Wavelength is nothing but the distance between two adjacent peaks. Consider this being an electromagnetic wave, and the distance between the two peaks is nothing but the wavelength, and it is denoted by the letter lambda. Wavelength lambda is equal to V by F, where V is the velocity of the electromagnetic wave in vacuum, which is equal to 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second, and F is the frequency of excitation. While considering our normal supply, the frequency of excitation F will be equal to 50 Hz. So, that is equal to 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second divided by 50, which will be approximately equal to 6 into 10 power 6, which is 6000 kilometers, which is very high when compared to the physical size of the element, the resistor or capacitor or inductor which we are using in our electric circuit. So, we can consider those elements as lumped elements. the resistor or the inductor or the capacitor, which we normally use in our electric circuits, are all considered as lumped circuits because they are used at a frequency of 50 Hz, and the wavelength of the electromagnetic wave is very large when compared to the physical size of the material. We can say that the components are lumped elements. Now let's consider an electromagnetic wave of frequency f is equal to 1 into 10 power 6 Hz, that is 1 megahertz frequency electromagnetic wave is applied to a 100-meter wire. Okay, now we are considering a problem under power system, and in this power system problem we are using a frequency of 1 megahertz frequency, and this megahertz frequency is being passed through a 100-meter wire. Now let's calculate the wavelength of the electromagnetic wave. Lambda is equal to v by f, where v is the velocity of light, which is equal to 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second, divided by the frequency, which is 1 into 10 power 6 Hz. So this amounts to be 300 meters. We can see that the wavelength of the electromagnetic wave is very much comparable when compared to the length of the wire. So this is called as a distributed network. So in general we can say that for frequencies above 1 megahertz frequency, the elements are considered to be distributed elements. And in such distributed networks, electric circuit is invalid. And electric circuit is valid only if we can consider the elements to be lumped circuits, that is, the elements whose physical length is very small when compared to the wavelength of electromagnetic wave. So that's all about distributed network and lumped network. We have discussed the other classifications of networks such as active and passive network in our previous video. If you have missed watching that video, you can watch that video by clicking on the playlist which is given in the description box. In the next video, we shall discuss about a few problems based on the types of electrical network. Continue watching the next video. Thank you.